Hey, it's the 1st of June, so it's time for another garden tour. Come on and let's see what's going on. Hey folks, welcome back to the Rocking C Homestead. My name is Lance. I want to welcome you to our channel. And today's our garden tour. It's the 1st of June and it is getting hot here in Oklahoma and the garden's getting hot and it is on fire. Let's go check it out. All right, so we're up here at the front of our garden, right in front of our house. This is Marcy's herb garden. And like I was saying, this is exploding. She's actually been coming out here almost every day picking and drying something. But as you can tell, the mints, we have spearmint, chocolate mint. This thing is going insanely crazy. It's getting huge. We're gonna have to try to maintain it or it's gonna take over this whole bed. And you can see she's kind of trimmed out some of the lemon balm here. She made some iced tea with it today, some sun tea. If you haven't checked us out on Facebook, you'd seen a picture of it, and that's what she used. It was really good. But as we kind of walk through here, so this is kind of more the tea herb bed, and these are more the culinary herbs. And they are just doing really good. Like I said, she's been coming out here picking stuff every day, but like I said, they've just been going awesome. The basil is going out of control. And even the oregano doing really, really well. And then over here, our chives, we've cut these things back 2 or 3 times and dried them, preserved them, and they keep coming back and back and back. So other than that, I mean, everything here looks good here. Now when you get over here, it looks kind of sad. So these were snow peas. However, if you guys know the story, if you don't, we planted these last fall. We had an early frost that kind of killed them. And through the winter, they survived. They came back and we got quite a few snow peas off of them. And it just got too hot last week and they're just dying out. So this weekend, this is all gonna go out. We're gonna put in our last bed that we made. Going to go right here, and I think Marcy is going to put some I don't know what you'd call it, but herbs that flower, like chamomile and those type of things. So I think that's what's going to go here, so she can make some other things other than like culinary herbs. And then last is our sage plant, and she actually thinned this out. This thing was overrun in this whole little pot there, but it is just blowing and going. We've been mixing this in with some of our fresh goat cheese we've been making. It's been awesome. So like I said, the herbs are good to go. So I actually we have 2 more herbs. They're just in this area. So we have a bay plant here. It is growing up nice and tall. We had a lot of wind yesterday and it seems to make it through just fine. So we're looking forward to being able to dry some of these for later on during the winter, making a lot of soups. All right, so we're over here on our far side of our garden. This is where we're keeping all of our bell peppers and peppers this year. We have them in these water troughs. These are self-watering tubs. So if you guys haven't checked out how we made these and how they work, we'll post a video up here at the top. You guys can go check that out after you watch the garden tour. The first ones up here are some bell peppers, or bullnose bell peppers. So there'll be a little mixture of green and red. Really good peppers. We grew those last year. Banana peppers are coming along really, really well. We actually have some of those guys popping. They have really enjoyed the heat that we've had here the last couple weeks. And it's going to be even more intense next week. Here in Oklahoma, we've had record high temperatures for the beginning of June. So not so great for us, but it's working great for the peppers. So I think this is like an orange bell pepper right here. These plants are ones that we actually planted and they were struggling at first, but they're coming back and doing great. Looks like some bugs are eating them. And then over here we have some jalapenos, or the non-jalapeno jalapenos, so nanopenos or something like that. They're supposed to be non-hot jalapenos. And we have a lot of flowers, but no fruit at this point. But down here, we bought a couple extra plants, and we bought them from a farmer friend of ours, and we have a huge bell pepper already right down here. So these things are already blooming. We got another one over here. So we are looking forward for some fresh bell peppers and fresh pepper soup. So awesome deal. All right, so right here we're in our squash patch. And you may be thinking, what are they doing with these sticks and the squash? So this is kind of a method that we looked at and saw over the winter. and we thought, let's give this a try and see how we like it. And it's trying to grow more vertically. One of the things that we struggled with last year is these things just got so big and so huge, it was just hard to maintain them and see what fruit was coming on. So we kind of researched and found out that you can try to grow them vertically. So that's what we're trying to do. We're just got these big posts and we're gonna try to tie them up as they grow. So as they grow, we'll cut some of the bigger leaves off and let them grow up. And hopefully that is gonna keep them more healthy. We'll be able to see the fruit more, be able to see the bugs more, because unfortunately here in Oklahoma, we deal with squash bugs and they're terrible. And we've already actually seen some. Actually, there's one right there. And we have to take care of those guys. So we try not to spray too much stuff on our plants. So we try to be as organic as possible. So that means a lot of us coming out here, spending time looking underneath leaves, looking for squash bug eggs and squash bugs and squashing them. And so this hopefully will help out. We'll do a video on as we go along. We want to kind of let it go for a couple weeks. We just put these on this week. So we kind of want to see how it's going to progress, and we'll bring you guys along for that. But so far, so good. And we're over here now in our lettuce and our spinach patch. Now we planted this really late, but as you can see, it's doing really good. Even with the hot weather we've had since we planted it later, it's kind of helped out a little bit. Plus this is the most shadiest, coolest spot in our garden. Definitely, you know, getting some bug damage on some of the spinach leaves, but we have actually picked some of this and have ate it. It's been really, really good. And we're gonna pick some more for my son. He likes to take some home tonight because he wants to take some home. But we'll see how long this lasts. You know, here in Oklahoma, growing lettuce when it's this time of year is kind of a risky situation. So, because these things like to bolt when it gets warm, and it's going to be up to 100 degrees later in the week. So hopefully we can get at least a good 1 or 2 or 3 harvests off this before it goes bad. So we're over here in our middle section of our garden. We had onions in this bed and we had garlic in this bed. Those have all been pulled out. They're curing inside. Actually tonight we may actually process all the onions. We'll see how far we get. We still got to milk the goats and take care of some other things tonight. So maybe not tonight, but it has to be done this week. But in these beds, we're gonna put some cucumbers, and we're gonna try to get some butternut squash, and we're trying to find some spaghetti squash. I'm gonna have to order that online. We haven't had a very good luck finding it locally, but I think some of those winter type squash should be really good, and we like them both. So here in the next week, we're gonna put up a trellis system right here, and another one, like those hog panels or cattle panels, and put one here up to the fence. Very similar to what you're gonna see in our next section of the video with our tomatoes. And that's what all of those squash and cucumbers are gonna vine on and trellis up on. But my mom and dad came down I think last weekend or weekend before last, and they had grown some tomato plants. These are oxheart tomatoes, and they look great. They brought me 3 of them. One of our tomato plants actually died, so we got one back with the other tomatoes, but these look so good we just couldn't get rid of them. So we figured, since we're gonna have the arches over here, we'll put them here and just have a couple extra tomato plants, because we love oxheart tomatoes and these look really good, and hopefully they're gonna grow great and give us a lot of fruit. So we're underneath our tower, the soon-to-be tower of tomatoes. As you can see, the tomatoes are already getting pretty tall. Some are about as tall as I am, if not taller. Unfortunately, yesterday though, we had a huge windstorm come through, and it knocked down one that was probably about this tall. It knocked off a big main branch of it. So we cut it off. The rest of it seems to be okay. There's another couple huge branches that were branching off of it. So I think it's gonna make it, but unfortunately, we did lose some fruit and and a big part of the plant. So like I said, I think it's gonna make it, but it's just one of those things that's kind of disappointing when you lose already made fruit and those kind of things. But we have a variety of tomatoes. If you guys don't know, we have some black Krim, we got some Cherokee purples, we got some cherry tomatoes, some bumblebee cherry tomatoes, is that some sun-kissed? Yeah, sun sugar cherry tomatoes. This is a Better Boy right here, and then this is a Jet Star. So we have a variety of different tomatoes, and what's interesting now, since we're growing different tomatoes, is how different the leaves are, how big the plant is, how thick the plant is. All those kind of things kind of play a role in that. And as we go to the next bed, it's even more pronounced when it comes to some of the ones we have here. So like this one right here is like a paste tomato, but the leaves are a little different. The stems are different. Of course, the tomatoes are a little different looking, but we do have some growing. This is the other, that's all right. So this is the other oxheart that we have growing, and that my mom brought in. And I'm not for sure what's all down on that edge without looking. Yeah, early girl and a sauce kind of paste tomato right there. And those are, I mean, like I said, other than the one that got damaged, is looking really, really good. And you know, in one of our videos we did, you know, about a month back, we were wondering what were we going to plant right here. And if you didn't notice, we planted corn. So we got like 3 or 4 corn plants, and it had 1 or 2 different sprouts on them. We kind of broke them apart. So I think we have 8 plants all together, and now they're sprouting up different plants of their own. First time ever grown corn. We're gonna try them in the raised bed. They got a little battered yesterday, so we had to kind of strap them down, tie them up. Is that a little bug? Let's see what kind of bug that is. Hey, spider. Boop. Okay, spider's gone. But I have researched this a little bit and know that we're probably gonna have to self-pollinate these. So once these get a little bigger and they start, the tassels come out and that pollen starts coming out, and then we start seeing the little corn shucks or whatever you call them with the little hairs, we'll know that we'll have to kind of gather that and kind of pollinate it ourselves. So that's one of the things I've read. Since we don't have just an abundance of corn, we're probably not going to self-pollinate, but we do want to see how much corn we can actually get. So we're interested to see how it is, all kind of different kinds of sweet corn. So we'll see. It's an experiment, and we've never grown it before, but it's growing like crazy. Now, probably one of the biggest things we've been working on here in the garden is to get an automatic irrigation system for the main part of the garden. So as you kind of see, we have some pipes running around the ground, up the beds, and into the bed. And this is set up on a drip system. And pretty much we water it twice a day, 30 minutes in the morning, 30 minutes at night. And we have it set up in 4 different zones. Like I said, we'll go over that more in a video later on. I just want to make sure everything is working right. It's kind of testing. I know the garden's kind of a mess. Like I said, it's been under construction. Not fully complete yet, just kind of making sure everything is working right. But so far, it's been working great. We're kind of dialing in how much water it needs when it comes to how much, you know, for each bed and those kind of things. But so far, it's been working good. But again, guys, thanks for coming back, watching our video all the way to the end. Hopefully you enjoyed our garden video. Definitely more garden videos coming up in the future. So if you would like to, if you haven't already, subscribe to our channel, ring that bell. That just lets you get notified every time a video comes out so you don't miss anything. And of course, if you haven't checked us out on Facebook or Instagram, check it out. Those links are down below in the description. And from our homestead to yours, have a blessed day, and we'll catch you on the next video. Bye.